do you know what TikTok is? And one person's like, yes, I know what the app TikTok is. And the other person's like, the noise it makes when my hip moves.
Exactly, dude. But I'm not looking for sympathy, but it is challenging. Just outside the borough, which
Yeah, the noodles like Cabot will give you a lot of crap for that, but it just means like your parents were educated and had good jobs. You know what I mean?
Well, this story is crazy because I always preface it by saying if someone told me this story, I wouldn't believe it. But it's 100%. Yeah, it's 100% true. You know what? I'm gonna take advantage of this situation. And so I'm talking to my manager about it. He's like, dude, here, just put a pizza box in a bag and just go back there, knocking the door. She answers, she remembers, you're in. I'm like, brilliant. So I go back to the house, I knock on the door, and some dude answers the door. He's like, we didn't order any pizza. I'm like, oh.
Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the one and only JDub, Justin Richardson, and on the show tonight, we have the owner and proprietor of David Richards Fitness, the one and only Dave Topor. Super fun show. Dave was really fun, man. I've known this guy for a long time. We started off the show with a bang. Great story, kicking back about an old wrestling match we had. We talked about the different jobs Dave's had growing up in NDub and hanging out with the crew, doing different sports in high school. He was really big into the Philadelphia comedy scene for a long time, and he hosted an open mic for a few years. Like he, really did a lot, or really had a long stretch in comedy. He owns his own business now. We talk a lot about that, but honestly, this show went by super fast, and I really had a good time. JDub, what'd you think?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say when it goes by fast, you had a good time. I had a good old time.
Yeah. Really did go by fast. Dave was a lot of fun. It's good to reminisce, and I'll tell you this: one of these things too I wanted to say, and I forgot to say it on the show, is that like back in the day, it was really cool to be like an older jerk to the younger kids. And Dave was one of those guys who was older, but was always like really cool to us, and like wasn't really like picking on the younger guys or making fun of everyone. Like he was always just like a solid, good dude. Yeah,
I met Dave like when I was 7. I met him again when I was like 15. I met him again when I was like 24, and again today.
Yeah.
Liked him every time I met him.
Every time. He's been nothing but a solid, good dude. Always a big fan of this guy. So I'm super excited for everyone to get to listen to this. So without any further ado, this is the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's JDub, Justin Richardson. And our guest today is the owner of David Richards Fitness, the one and only Dave Topor. Enjoy. All right, hello and welcome. Today on the show, like we said, we have the one and only Dave Topor. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's JDub, Justin Richardson. So I want to talk about this, JDub. JDub, there's been moments in time in history that have been recorded as legend, right? And I'm going to tell you about this one time, okay? It's just one time. It's your boy here, old Uncle Matty, right? I was with a young David Topor, a.k.a. Tope Diddy Run the City Show No Pity, a.k.a. Tope Deezy, a.k.a. Tope Star 00, a.k.a. Son of Abraham, right?
Let's go.
We were at this house in East Falls, right? And we had gone over this house in East Falls to freestyle rap.
Nice.
Just a thing you did back then. We did some freestyling. We freestyled over the one beat. It was like a 50 Cent beat. God, I forget.
Magic stick. The magic stick.
Yes,
nice.
Correct, Dave. Thank you. Yeah. So we were freestyling over that beat, killed it, crushed it. Everyone, it was me, Dave, my brother Tom, who everyone knows. He's been on the show, the host of the Schmidt and Lavelle show. And then this guy, Bill Loftus, and I think Sprouse was there as well. Shout out, Bill, fan of the show, listen to the show. And then I think Sprouse was there as well. So we're all there. We're all hanging out, right? Everyone's having a good time. We're flowing. Our raps are hard. Like we are going on these raps, bro. bro, I was throwing down some heaters of some lines. All right. Because once you get into it,
that part of the memory is not that clear to me, but I'm so far, yeah.
I remember getting a standing ovation after delivering my line.
From the whole crowd, or
from the whole crew. The fact was we were already standing, but nonetheless. So afterwards, we're all hanging out. Then out of nowhere, I gave Dave a stunner. Do we remember a stunner? Stone Cold Stunner. Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? But then it turned around and Dave gave me a diamond cutter. And I said, what? What is this? Right? Then I hit him with the mandible claw. The mandible claw. Right? Then he got out of it, threw me off the ropes, hit me with the clothesline, and I was down. And I was hurt. Then I get back to my feet. I stand up, hit him with the eye poke. Little Ric Flair style, walked it off a little bit, hit him with the eye poke, right? Then we go back. I throw him off the ropes. I hit him with, right? Then I get next to him, and I kick the sides of his arms in, take off the elbow pad, throw it in the arena, right? I hit him with the most electrifying move in Eastballs ever, right? Hit him with the people's elbow. He kicks out of the people's elbow. Unheard of to kick out of the people's elbow. Might be the most protected move in all of wrestling. He kicks out of the people's elbow, right? Then he gets up. Then I throw him into the sink. Then I turn the water on. Then I start splashing him with the water. Splashing him in the face with the water, right? He's going,
waterboarding me.
And then you have on the sidelines, Tom and Bill are commenting the whole time. Oh my God. Right? Then it rolled and I threw him into the fridge. He came off the fridge with the big boot. He hit me with the big boot. And I was dazed. I'm getting up to my feet and I'm cutting slow up there while I'm taking my time getting up. What's he doing? He's tuning up the band. Tuning up the band for a little sweet chin music, right? Hits me with a little sweet chin music, a little super kick action. I go down. And I go down hard. I go down hard. Then the ref gets down. He hits him with the championship count of 1, 2. And I kick out. Oh, and I kick down. And the place goes, I got kicked out of the championship. It was wild. It was wild. I get back up. What do? Stun him again. Again, I stun him. Then he gets back up. Then what do? Choke slam him. Then he gets back up. What do? Stone pile driver, baby. What do? Throw him back down. I get on top. I know it's done. A 1, a 2. And another kick out. I come up. This place is going wild. It was going absolutely wild. Oh, my God, going nuts. The neighbors are banging on the walls. The back walls are banging on the walls because we were so damn loud. It was crazy. It was wild. This place was erupting.
Pandemonium.
Right? It was hellfire and brimstone. Right? Then I get Dave again. I pick him up, put him in the DDT him on the floor. Then I wrap up one leg and I wrap up the other. And I go, I was like, there's no way he's getting out of this. A 1, a 2, another kick out. Oh my God. So we went from the kitchen. I threw him into the living room. And then out of nowhere, in the living room, he had an actual yield sign, an actual big metal yield sign, a legit one, right? I throw him in the living room. I throw him off the ropes, hit him with the clothesline again, throw him off the ropes again, hit him with a spinning back elbow. He comes up with the actual yield sign that's like 4 by 4 feet metal and like 60 pounds and goes whap right in my face. Kaboom. Right? And the crowd's going nuts. Billy Loftus is doing his best, JR, and he's saying, oh my God. Right? Nails me with it. Then he gets on top, and the disrespect with the flying elbow from the couch. The flying elbow from the top of the couch nails me. And then I was out. 1, 2, 3. And there's no kick out for the kid. Dave Topor walked away as the champ, but we all walked away with something. And then we were leaving, and he comes, and I'm going to leave, and he was waiting outside, and he tried to jump me again. And the neighbor had come outside, and started yelling at us like, "You kids need to shut the hell up. It's 3 in the morning." And we're like, "All right, lady, go to bed, you booze hound."
You don't have any belts, lady. You're
Yeah.
not the Intercontinental Champion of anything. Go back in your house.
Yeah. Like, we're the chaps with all the straps, and you need to hit the bricks, babe. All right. But either way, go ahead, Dave.
A very accurate account of that match.
Very accurate. So either way, our guest tonight is the one and only Dave Topor, the owner and proprietor of David Richards Fitness. We'll have a link in the description of this episode where you can follow him online and check out David Richards Fitness. Dave, I love you, brother. Super excited to have you here. You're one of my all-time guests as a guest. I've wanted to have you on the show for years.
Thanks,
but
brother.
before we get started, I would just like to ask, what movie do you think you've seen the most your whole life?
Oh, man, probably Jurassic Park.
Wow, the first one?
Yeah.
Clever girl.
I mean, I saw that like three times in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dave, you remember my
that.
dad, right?
Yes.
So remember the movie Braveheart?
Yeah.
Braveheart came out in 95. I was 9 turning 10 in 95, right? He took like me and Tom and Alex to see the movie in theater 4 times. Braveheart.
Wow.
I was 9 years old. 4 times, baby. Like, let alone like the gruesome battle scenes, the sex scenes were wild. I was like, Dad, let's go see the boobs on that Scottish babe. What are we doing here? Come on, you know. It was wild, you know, but it was the 90s. It was the 90s. You could take a 9-year-old to an R-rated / almost X-rated movie. You know, the violence was off the chain.
Yeah, wow, that's quite the film. I mean, I got rented Pulp Fiction at Blockbuster when I was like 11 by accident. They definitely shouldn't have rented me that. I was like, Pulp Fiction, what's this about? Like 10 minutes in, I'm like, the hell am I looking at? I thought this was
about orange juice. What the heck?
Yeah, it was rough. I did not see that 4 times, though. I did not rent that again for a while.
So the reason I asked you that question, Dave, is because usually we have these things called the disputed questions, right? And what the disputed questions are there questions that JDub and I disagree on. And we would like to get to know the type of person you are by asking you these questions to see which side of the lane you fall on. But recently I was told that the disputed questions, you know, people are bored of them. Well, one person told me that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said that last week. I'm not bored of them, and I get bored very easily.
Is this one of them where you guys are like, they're bored of them? You're like, they're not bored of them.
As of last week, it is.
I mean, we didn't last week.
This is our new disputed question. Are you bored of the questions? Let us know at the end.
I was like, what kind of Inception BS is this?
All right. Well, okay, Dave. So what movie do you think is better? The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2?
Oh, man, I'm the worst with movies. Like,
really? I thought you were a movie guy.
No, I'm really not. I mean, I've probably seen each one of those once.
And which one do you think is better?
Probably the first one, right? Or is it the second? Like, what's popular culture, Seth?
I mean,
I'm popular, and I say it's the first one.
Do you live under the scrutiny of popular culture, or are you Dave damn Topor? Are you Diddy run the city and you do your own
third
thing?
One?
Which Casino?
You know how many times we've asked that question and people have said Goodfellas as their answer?
The first 2 hours and 15 minutes of The Irishman.
Right.
Oh
not the last hour and 45 minutes.
Speaking of, bro, I'll tell you this, boys. So recently, have you know the movie Killers of the Flower Moon?
I did not see it.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? His new movie, Killers of...
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I saw it, and it's 3 hours and 26 minutes. And oh my gosh, it's a long
Worth
one.
it? Worth it?
It was good. I mean, you know, it's Scorsese, it's Leo, it's Robbie D.
Oh, so it's the crew. The gang's back together.
The crew. I like Jesse Plemons too.
What's that on? What's that platform?
I saw it on Apple Plus.
Oh, all right.
Apple Plus.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I like a good Leo movie.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
I just come to find out that the guy in that they based the story of So You Think You or Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, so it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
You know how that guy actually fabricated all of that.
So that whole thing was a lie.
Yeah, like after the movie came out, he's like,
Frank.
Like he never worked
Abagnale.
for the Yeah, like he made up most of those stories.
Wow, just goes to show you how like stupid some people are if you fool them with a little confidence and a little panache.
I mean, That's crazy that the movie's about him finessing people, and he's like, "Yeah, I just finessed you right there, and you already made the movie."
Yeah, great movie too.
Sold the
that's
rights to
great.
that for a lot of
Dude,
money.
the best scene in that movie is when he fools Jennifer Garner into paying him to sleep with her. It was the best. Loved it. But either way, here we go. Let's keep it going. Next question, Dave.
Yes.
Cheetos, crunchy or puffed? What are you doing?
Yeah, crunchy. That's definitely close though. That's a close one or two. That's a close one too.
Okay. What about this? Waffles, pancakes, or French toast?
Waffles.
Woo! You're hitting me. You're scratching me where I itch, Davey.
You got built-in syrup holders. I mean,
come on. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here?
We're talking efficiency right now.
Yeah. And then, okay, water park or an amusement park?
I mean, as long as you're not with that person that's like, you know what's in this water? Water park can be fun. Until you have that one person that's like,
gotta ruin it. Gotta
bring
whatever.
Like, let me live a little bit. Let me get in the lazy river.
Oh, there's a Band-Aid in there. I'm like, there's a Band-Aid. There's one Band-Aid out of 32,000 gallons. All right.
Yeah, well, I'm that one guy, guys. So nice to meet you. That's me.
So, yeah, but maybe an amusement park. I mean, depending. I haven't been to one in a minute.
Right. And then what about Chevy Chase or Bill Murray?
Oh, Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Wow.
Few and far between. You're a man of great honor and respect.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
What are we even doing here?
What do you mean?
Really, Chevy?
Everyone who said Bill Murray is a coward.
Everyone says Bill Murray is not a decadent Philistine.
He all right.
You like Chevy Chase?
Oh yeah. I've probably seen more of his movies. I've probably seen more of his stuff.
Well, Dave, I thought better of you. We'll just say.
Well, there's still more time. I mean, it could go back because you thought pretty high of me about 6 minutes ago.
Right. Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock?
Man, that's actually what was that movie that Chappelle was in the 90s? What was that?
Half-Baked?
Yeah, actually, that's probably the movie I've seen the most because there was a time period I watched that religiously.
We watched that movie all the time.
Now, because I'm thinking about your original question, it's definitely not Jurassic Park. It's definitely Half-Baked.
Dude, I'll have to cut this. But I remember we would absolutely piss ourselves laughing when it was the one scene, the one scene where when he goes to feed I think it was a police horse, right? He goes to feed the police horse and he's like, "Hungry girl," and then behind him is this huge fat black chick that just says and I was just like, dude, dying.
It's one of my favorite scenes. I don't know if you can cut that out. I don't know. Probably cut that out. Oh God.
I didn't say it, but I didn't say the actual word, but it was, dude, I just remember we would be pissing ourselves laughing.
Never gets old.
And we would rewind it and watch it again.
And more hilarious.
Dude, so funny. So funny.
Yeah, so definitely that movie I've seen the most.
That one, Half-Baked, that was up there for a while. We were big on Half-Baked for a while.
So good. So good.
And then, okay, let's keep it moving on. Keep it on moving and shaking and moving and shaking and shaking and moving.
Okay, okay.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Okay.
Correct.
Incorrect. Then last question, and the most important question, and this will decide the person you are for the rest of your life, David. When it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flats?
Drums.
Damn right you're a drum. You say that, Justin?
The flat community is confusing.
Flats are great.
The flats are for decadent Philistines.
Yeah. Unlike you barbarians who eat your drums. Go to the Renaissance Fair and get big turkey legs.
Oh, dude,
big old turkey legs.
I like it. I like it.
Little turkey leg wrapped in bacon, baby. All right, so let's keep it on moving down the road. So, like we said on the show today, we have the one and only Dave Topor. Dave Topor is the owner and proprietor of David Richards Fitness, right? David Richard or David Richards?
David Richards.
Richards with an S.
Richards,
like we said, we'll have the link in the description of this episode where you can find Dave on all his social media platforms, as well as a link to his website for David Richards Fitness. I've been to the studio. It's a good studio, man. You got a good spot there. You're in a good location. It's not.
Appreciate
It's
it.
got great equipment, right? It's got plenty of space, and it's clean. One thing
Thank
people
you.
don't think about when they go to a gym is it needs to be clean, right?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are always like, "Oh, the gym's whatever, whatever." Dude, if it's a filth box, bro, you don't want to be there. I've been to so many that people are so high on, but I'm like, this place is fucking filthy. I'm not going to train here because that's how you get diseases, right? We wrestled, we know the deal. You got to keep it clean. And so I've been to a spot, it's got a bunch of great stuff, brand new equipment, really good stuff, and he does a great job. So, Dave, let's talk about a
Appreciate
little
that.
bit. Yeah, of course, man. David Richards Fitness. What was the inspiration for David Richards Fitness?
Well, my name's David. My father's name was Richard, but it sounded too rough, so I added an S. Sounded very main line where it's at in Malvern. So, and it kind of came together pretty quickly because I was kind of between a rock and a hard place with the pandemic, shutting down my momentum at the big box gym that I was working at, which was Lifetime Athletic in Camp Prussia. I had a really good thing going there, but when I returned a few months after the break and everything, all like kind of my momentum had been just dead. And so at that point, I think people just wanted to work out, but they were certainly looking for like just maybe a more private space. So I just kind of quickly came up with this thing and knew through the grapevine someone that had some commercial property. I went and looked at it, and it was kind of nice and just made the move.
Nice. Very nice, man. I like it.
Yeah, that's kind of like the simplistic version of it. I mean, I think most trainers or people in that type of work are probably thinking about doing their own thing in some point or some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But probably if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been like so fired up to like or motivated to like do it because I had this momentum going at my other job. I wasn't it was going bad. So
Yeah. And do you
kind
call
of
it a
lucky.
big box gym? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, like a Lifetime or something like that.
Oh, they call those big box gyms?
In my industry, yeah, where it's
Okay.
like a giant
Yeah,
facility,
like an LA
that
Fitness, like a
Yeah.
Planet Fitness, like a
Yeah.
that would be all.
gigantic.
Those would be big box gyms.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
So like the
I'm more
chains
like
mostly.
and I'm more
Yeah.
like a boutique studio style gym.
Nice. So, okay. So you're working at Lifetime or if you're the former place you're at, and you're there and you're building up a client list and things are
Yep.
going well. And then after the pandemic, they come back and maybe there's some business things that you're not happy with or something along those lines. You don't have to get into it. And so
Right.
you're like, look, I have enough clients here. You've obviously, it's something you've thought about before, and so you're like, hey, screw it. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna bet on myself, and I'm gonna go open up my own shop. And so, that's what you did. And I've worked with you with it, and it's really like a good spot. You do a great job of navigating the apps too, which is really
Thanks.
big. You know what I mean? Like, which is like, it's also like it's a business language that you had to learn, right? That it's like you can kind of see, but to be able to take advantage of those type of tools is a real skill, man. You should be very proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished, and it's a big deal that you've been able to do that. So you're very proud of that, man, and I'm very proud of you for it. So
thanks, man. Appreciate that.
of course, brother.
Yeah, dude, it's
So
going on 3 years. It feels pretty good. I mean, definitely January is my busiest month to date, so it's going well.
dude, that's awesome, man. I'll tell you, I've been working at the gym. I've been at the gym I've been at for 15 years, and the owner always told me he's like February usually is the busiest month of the year, but this you're saying like you've already started kicking things off in January, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I agree. I mean, I think the first 3 months of the year are pretty busy.
Yeah.
But I have like the best team I've ever had, and I have software that I've implemented this year. I mean, there's just a lot, like not just even revenue wise, that also is good, but a lot of other things that are in place that, I mean, it's probably connected really, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
Still, dude.
it's a good thing.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Congrats, dude. That's great. So 3 years you've been at your place. And like we said, we'll have links in the description of this episode of where you can find David Richards Fitness and sign up for a class if you want. He offers a bunch of different types of classes, a bunch of different types of training. He can cater to pretty much everybody. And one of the things I found, like, I have a bunch of clients that I'll train and stuff like that. And the number one thing when it comes, like, people think it's all about like like you got to be able to push people and give them a good workout and all that kind of stuff.
Little
But
kisses on the tummy.
yeah, there's a lot of people
Back is
That's what we're really good at,
little tummy kiss.
That's what separates.
Little tummy sticks.
Separates
Play little
maybe a
tummy
little.
sticks. So, but dude, I'll tell you,
Pat on the
like,
forehead.
one of the things that like people, like legit, you could get whatever you like. What most trainers provide, like as far as like providing an exercise routine, can be found in certain places, but you really want to develop is a personal relationship with the people you're training. That's the number one thing you want to do. Is that like, look, they're coming there to train with you and train hard and all that stuff, but they're also like, they're your friend at the end of the, like, they're your pal at the end of the day. And you want to have relationships and jokes and fun and talk and be interested in their lives and them interested in yours and things like that. So for you, Dave, what is like kind of something that, like, have you focused on the personal relationship with your clients? Because you have a ton of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man, you nailed it. And that's how I teach trainers coming up too, that, it all stems from that, because like you're saying, the better relationship you have with this person, the better the accountability you'll have with them, the better you'll be able to inspire them or lead them, or they'll have more trust in you, or all these things stem from that relationship. So the better that is, the other things will also be better. And then in turn, hopefully on the back end of that, you help this person and get them results, whatever their goal is. So you got to be good at that. And I thought, and the only tough thing about that is it's a hard thing to teach people, like being affable and being able to have conversations and all these skill sets. I think you can practice, but in the long run, your personality is somewhat your personality.
Yeah.
The old gift of gab.
That's it.
Yeah, dude, one of the things I found that like I'll ask to like break the conversation and things like that is I'll be like, hey, you watching anything? You got any series or movies or anything you're watching? And that's usually one that helps, like, check off the box of like starting a conversation.
Yeah, but that's it. As the time's been going on, that's been getting tougher, because someone will be like, I'm watching the Thompsons go to Europe. And I'll be like, what's that on? They're like, it's on Peacock. I'm like, I don't have Peacock. They're like, what are you watching? I'll be like, I'm watching this. I'm like, what's that on? I'm like, Hulu. Like, I don't know Hulu. And then I'm like, and then it's just followed by, I'm like, so, and they're like, how many reps have I done? I'm like, I haven't been paying attention. I've been trying to think about some show.
I was considering how much HBO Max.
I was wondering on how I would talk to you. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, so you seen top 10 movies on Netflix? And they're like, my back's severely injured. It's been injured. You haven't been paying attention.
You're like, look, my spleen just ruptured, and you're talking about the fabulous Mrs. Maisel or something.
Exactly.
Come on, dude.
I'm like, but it was season 3.
I've been blind for 6 years. I can't watch Netflix.
Exactly.
So, and you cater to your clients are all.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the most stressful things about my job, honestly, is some people you have more of a natural flow with in terms of conversation, and other people, like you're saying, you just right from the beginning, like, I haven't seen that, I never heard that, I don't believe in movies, and then you're like, cool, how much time did that take to ask them that? And you look up and you're like, cool, 2 minutes.
I don't believe in movies.
Whatever it is, and then you got 58 minutes of just awkwardness.
It's gonna be a long day when someone's like, I don't believe in feature films. You're like,
or whatever it is,
dude. You have, but it's strange.
It's
like,
crazy.
But like, think about this, Justin. Dave, in one day, his clients could range from a teenage kid training for a sport, right, to a middle-aged, man or woman that is just trying to stay in shape, that has a couple kids, to an older client, right, that is retired and spends a lot of time with their grandkids, right? So he has to be able to cater to those 3 people in 3 separate demographics, right? And like that, probably use 3 different types of lingo, that some people are okay to use this language and some people are okay to use.
You're nailing it. Like my current polar opposites right now, my youngest client's 19, my oldest is 80.
Right.
So,
nice.
So like
they're coming in within an hour of each other. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. So
you go from saying like, hey, Sonny Jim, to yo, what's up, man? Yeah.
Hey, do you know what TikTok is? And one person's like, yes, I know what the app TikTok is. And the other person's like, the noise it makes when my hip moves.
Exactly, dude. It's but I'm not looking for sympathy, but it is challenging.
No, dude, people think it's so easy to do that stuff, but to be able to build personal relationships and create a client base like that, it's very difficult, and it takes a lot of work. So you did a great job in developing that enough that you're celebrating almost 3 years of owning your own business, being your own boss, having your own space, man. That's a big deal, dude. So
thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Hey, of course, man. So like we said, we'll have links in the description of this episode of where you can find David Richards Fitness. So you can follow Dave on socials and you can check out his website and maybe some of the apps. And if you're so inclined, sign up for some classes. So let's keep it moving then. I want to talk about this, right? Dave here was born in the city of Philadelphia, and he grew up in the neighborhood known as NDub, or it's coming to be known as NDub. We've had a couple of NDub roundtables on this show. I think this show has done more for the city and town of NDub than any other show in history. But Dave here, he wasn't really in the borough. He was in the development part of NDub.
Yes,
Is that right, Dave?
I was just outside the borough, which,
Yeah, the Noodles like Cabot will give you a lot of crap for that, but it just means like your parents were educated and had good jobs. You know what I mean?
You had a garage.
Oh,
he had a 2-car garage. He had a 2-car garage, and he had a tennis court in his backyard.
I actually had 3-car garage. But
a 3-car garage?
There was 3 garage bays.
So you grew up in NDub, you're hanging out. What was life growing up in NDub as, kind of an outsider / development guy?
Yeah, I mean, I went to Northville Elementary. It was interesting. I was probably a little soft going to that school. Living on the outskirts.
Everyone's soft at that school.
I think my dad hugged me too much. I don't know.
Yeah, you actually had a father, so that
you had both parents
way
that
ahead of the class.
Like, why don't you talk about your feelings? I'd be like, okay. But it was cool. It was a good life. When I stayed in North Penn all the way through high school.
Nice.
So went to Pembroke and North Penn High School.
Nice. All right.
But it was
Graduated
good.
high school.
It was
Matt.
I did graduate.
I graduated high school, Justin.
You got again?
Whoa, no. Whoa. We need to clear this up. We need to clear this up now. I know I've repeatedly stated on the show that I was expelled from 2 high schools. Yes, I was expelled from 2 high schools. But I graduated, motherfuckers. I got me a diploma.
You regular graduated?
Regular graduation.
Yeah, you were. You did get expelled.
After I got expelled the second time, right? I had to go to this remedial school called Lansdale Teaching and Tutoring, right? And they said if I didn't fuck up again, because, dude, I got expelled the last quarter of my senior year, right? So, it was 3 months left of school. And they were like, all right, make you a deal, kid. Don't fuck up again, and we'll let you walk with your class. All right? And I was like, all right, deal. And I was
Mr. Pizzola?
I don't know who it was, but I was living with my dad at the time, right? So it was like I was living with the sergeant, and he was like, look, he legit, his exact words were, he's like, you could sit on your thumb and spin for 3 months. You're gonna fucking graduate high school. I was like, Dad, no. So for all those listening, yeah, I got expelled from 2 high schools, but your boy graduated with a real life diploma, and I didn't have to take an extra year like Tom, the host of the Schmidt and Lavelle show, had to. So your boy did it. So either way, coming back to you.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to go to summer school?
No.
I did.
Multiple times or just once?
I had to go to summer. So in between 8th grade and 9th grade, so I was in Catholic school still then. So I went from
Catholic school had a more strict.
That's kind of just what it was.
Yeah,
it was like, look,
in public school you could get a 60. In LC you had to get a 70 to not go to summer school, and I would get a 61, no problem. And all my 3 older brothers had to went to LC, so they would get like a 61 as well. And they would have to go to summer school, and I wouldn't. I'd be like, ha.
I went to summer school twice.
Man, never. Yeah. Scary.
So you're in school. What kind of sports were you doing in school, Dave?
Wrestling, tennis.
Yep.
Up to high school, I played lacrosse, soccer actually too.
Oh, nice. So, like I said, you had a tennis court in your backyard. So, could you play a little tennis? Were you good?
Yeah, I'm decent.
Yeah, I'd hope so. You had a tennis court in your backyard.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I used it for various things, but tennis was one of them.
Play hockey on it too?
No, just like when I got to high school, I'd have parties on it.
Oh yeah.
You good at tennis, Matt? You any good at tennis?
No.
All right.
It's a hard sport.
It is.
I mean, no, dude, people think, well, I mean, because it's a bunch of foofs that play it, everyone thinks it's not like, not
tiring.
It's not a physically demanding sport, but it's very physically demanding. It takes a lot of athleticism.
Most underrated sports.
Big time.
Dude, mentally being out there by yourself.
Also, too, imagine this, right? Their matches, like a quick match is like an hour and a half, right? And that's like as quick as possible. So you're going to go out there for 2 hours at least minimum, and you're like running just back and forth. And your knees are like on fire. Like, bro, it is so tough. So tough. Yeah. I just watched the show Breakpoint as well on the Flicks.
Hell yeah. Yes. That's what I'm saying. So tennis is legit. I mean, it's a lonely life as a tennis fan, but still legit.
Yeah. If you had an all-time favorite tennis player, who would it be? Andre Agassi?
Definitely Roger.
Roger Federer.
Yeah, Roger Federer. Yeah, dude, he's suave. Dude. Nice champion.
Don Juan de la Noche.
People up.
Oh, dude, you know what's the crazy thing was? I remember this. This was wild. Is that, and this is how lucky we are. Like, and I'm saying we're lucky. Like, I don't even watch tennis, but like for real, for people watching tennis, this is an era that will never be equaled. It's like, dude, Andy Roddick would have been a champion in any other era. But in this era, really, he just couldn't get past Federer.
Really, tennis from 2005 to 2020 was nuts. That's 15 years. Just
nuts.
What Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic did to dominate a sport would never been seen. Like, it's
dude. The crazy thing is that I remember, like, it is for 5 years. It was Federer, right? Like, everyone's like, this guy's broken every record. He's unbeatable. He's won Wimbledon how many times in a row? Like, he's incredible, right? And that's what everyone's saying. And then Nadal comes around, and then Nadal starts winning, and everyone's like, who the fuck is Federer? This Nadal guy is incredible. And he's winning. And it really, like, breaks my heart to see how old he is in the Netflix show, because I remember when he was like young, and I'm like, damn, how old am I? And then everyone's like, oh, dude, Federer was incredible, Nadal incredible. There's no way there's beating them two. Then comes Djokovic, who is out here just smoking both of them, and it's like, what world are we living in? That these three guys exist at the same time. Literally, probably 1, 2, and 3 of all time are in the same era. It is unbelievable.
And how many great matches between the three of them, any which way, has been recorded. Like, how many Wimbledon finals decided by a couple points between. It's just been great.
Oh, dude, they're
epic stuff.
The epic, like, Nadal and Federer, those Wimbledon finals were just unbelievable. Then, dude, not even to mention, like, the French Open. Australia is always kind of a toss-up, where it's like, I don't know, something seems to go off.
What's going on right now?
The Australian Open?
It is just started, by the way.
Shout out Australia, fan of the show, listen to the show. To legit, shout out Australia, fan of the show, listen to the show. Sue Matthews, a.k.a. Miss Metal, a.k.a. Alloy1100, Australia's favorite daughter, and then the one and only Arabella Del Busso, and then Sherry Cola. We got fans in Australia, Dave. I don't know if you know, but the boys, we hitting down under pretty high. All right. Shout out Miss Metal. But no, we got fans out there. We got retorts all over, baby. So represent. But either way, yeah. And then the US Open, forget about it, right? Like,
those guys are nuts.
Roddick only won one Grand Slam, and it was a US Open. And then that was it. He was like, I got my one, and thank God I got it when it did.
He saw this dude with nice ass hair across it. He's like, who is this? He's like, I'm Roger Federer. He didn't even know originally what that was going to mean.
Nope, no one did.
Like just waking up out of sleep like, sorry, Federer. Yeah,
I'm Roger. Wilshire Federer. But either way, right? Yeah. So either way.
Not even breaking a sweat.
Not even breaking sweat. Federer was incredible. Absolutely. Like, I don't know. But that's tennis, babe. You also did some wrestling. You're a really good wrestler. Dude, I remember, I was talking to Kevin Wertan the other day, right? And something came up. He's like, dude, how was Topor never, like so good at wrestling? Like, never, like, did, went to States or something with wrestling? I was like, well, the funny thing is that he was in the same weight class as this guy named Brandon Hill. and it just sucked. You know, like Dave was
Zach Fryling technically,
and
too.
yeah, so like Dave was a really good wrestler,
just those two,
right?
Yeah.
Well, Dave was a really good wrestler, except it just sucked that like you kept getting screwed with the guys you're in the weight classes with. I'll tell you, you should have gone up to 71 and beat Bob Hall because that guy sucked.
Or I should just even cut more weight and gone
to 45.
Going 45 that year, but it would have been really tough.
Yep.
But
you could have had it too, because I missed weight.
He just had my card, dude. How many matches him and I? 4-3, 3-2, 5-4.
Yep.
I also lost to Cabot a lot by a point, but he also state qualifier.
Yeah, dude, regional runner-up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not like you're losing to Joe Shit the Ragman. You're
I felt pretty good about it. We were on a really good team.
Yeah, no, dude, you were a really good wrestler. So either way, let's keep it moving. So like we said, you wrestled, did tennis, but I want to talk about a little bit of working, right? So what were you start, like, you kind of started working right away, you know what I mean? Like, I think your parents instilled a work ethic. So you did, like, you're a dishwasher at the Hickory Pit, you were a bagger at
the Hickory Pit. 12 years old, bro.
The Hickory Pit at the North Wales train station.
Yeah,
right?
you used to work there.
Yeah, I worked there.
The ribs at the Hickory Pit, bro. The ribs at the Hickory Pit, baby.
Until the age of like 7, I thought the Hickory Pit was the fanciest place in the world. Like, I remember when like the William Penn Inn finally started putting like the lights up on the trees, and I was like, this seems nicer than that place by the train station. Because McKeever's was across the street, and I also thought McKeever's was a place where dignitaries.
I remember McKeever's.
I used to have to go to McKeever's to get frozen chicken croquettes or chicken fingers when we ran out, and I was like 13. I was going there, it was like all smoke-filled bar. I'm like, oh, I'm from the Hickory Pit. Oh. Like all fucking scared and shit. Just like daytime drinkers, and they're like, oh, get the bartender. I'm like, this is fucking horrible.
Like, what do you need, Sonny?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
fucking ashing on my head and shit.
Yeah. So you work there. I love, like, I've said it before, everyone needs to work in a restaurant at least once in their life to realize how like non-important the ranch dressing is. And then you also worked at Toys R Us, which was a big, pretty cool job, especially as like a teenager.
The Montgomeryville Toys R Us?
Yeah, dude, I worked there twice technically. I worked there as like a regular associate, and then I went back as like a holiday hired associate, which was a huge mistake.
These are two dream jobs for me. I love I love Toys R Us.
Bro, but
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us was not a bad job like regularly, but when I went back for the holiday, you just it's like signing up for the special forces. I'm sure a lot of people aren't gonna like that, but bro, you're just basically signing up to go on the front lines.
You're ready for war.
I mean, I think a lot of people
fucking New or Christmas Eve, it's like, dude, they prep you. It's fucking mayhem.
Dude, yeah, I guarantee a lot of people would rather be in Afghanistan than on Toys R Us on Christmas Eve.
You get flashbangs. You're like, only use these in emergency. But when you need them, you
carrying around like a Nerf gun and a super soaker.
If anyone's been to the Montgomeryville Toys R Us, is that little road you turn off from North Wales Road, that little like weird side road where the Chipotle is now. And I remember being a kid and being like, that's the Toys R Us road. Like,
you'd see the giant bars.
And you'd see it, and it was just the big old Jeffrey on the front. What a magical place. What a time to be alive.
I was 15 when I worked there. And I worked or 16, because I remember I did drive there. I was 16.
You could drive there when you had your hatchback that had like 30-inch speakers.
Yeah, I had 2 15-inch subs in that thing. It was dope. But yeah, I would drive there. I worked in the bike section, and I worked in the video game section.
Nice, dude. So you did pretty well there. All right, so then you went from the next there. Job. He was delivering za, baby. Delivering za for, we'll just say, a chain za restaurant.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, he was delivering pizza for a chain spot. How'd you like delivering za? I'll tell you this. Me and Tom talked about this, Dave. We always liked you, and one of the reasons we always liked you is that you weren't a mooch and you always had money. You know what I'm saying? There's so many guys that were in mooches that never had any money. You know what I'm saying? Justin, big time mooch with no money. Yep. But Dave, you're always a good time. You're always a fun hang. You always had money. You were never a mooch. But so you're working delivery. Anything ever happen on a delivery run?
Anything come up?
Anything pop up?
Yeah, well, this story is crazy because I always preface it by saying if someone told me this story, I wouldn't believe it. But it's 100%. Yeah, it's 100% true. You might have been there after, actually. But yeah, so it was me and my friend Brad. We closed the store on Friday nights. And the manager at this time, I mean, remember, like age is such a perspective thing. But at this point in time, I remember thinking my manager was so much older than us, but in reality, he was like 28 and we were like 18.
Was it Brad Bauer?
No, it was Brad Bauer was his name.
It was Brad Bauer. Yeah,
Brad Bauer was a coworker. So we're closed in, and he was, and we would always fuck around, whatever. But one night the guy comes back and he's like, "Oh, it's like a hot chick on the phone," and asked if it was like a guy or a girl delivering it, and I'm like, "Whatever, same shit, always fucking with us, trying to get in our heads." And I pretty much forget about it, but nonetheless, gives me a delivery. I'm on the way there, pull up to the house, and I started thinking about it again. And especially when I see the front doors open, it's just like the storm door is shut. So I'm like thinking about it a little bit, but I'm like, whatever. So I go knock on the storm door, and then I hear a voice that just goes, "Come in." It's like a woman's voice. So I'm like, then my heart starts beating a little bit because now I'm really like, he was like thinking about my boss's tone, like he did seem kind of sincere. So I walk in there. And it's just this woman to the right on this like a row home style house. So the whole home when you walk in opens to the right, and she's on this couch, like full lingerie. I swear to God, and basically like, oh hey, it's very casual at first, like hey, just put the pizza, like pointing to the coffee table, like kind of in front of her. And I set it down. She's like, how much is it? I tell her $10, whatever it is. And then she's like, really quick, this all happened. She's like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I don't. 19 or 18, however old I was. And she's like, you horny? And I'm like, what? She's like, you heard me. Come on, don't play around. All guys your age are horny. Like, stands up, comes up. She's like, you're kind of cute. And just starts making out with me. Like, puts her hand in my pants.
How's this lady looking, Dave?
I mean, again, age is perspective. I think she might have been in her 40s, maybe older 30s. I was young as hell.
Still looking good, though?
Oh, yeah. Like, and then I'm Marie, I was like a softy, like more not play by the rules all the time, but I was like, I'm at work, I can't do this, and I fucking leave, and she's like, you should come back. So I go back to the shop. My boss, I start telling him what happened. He's like, are you fucking nuts? He's like, dude, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I love my family. But when I was your age, I was with an older woman. Best experience of my life. You need to go back there right now. Don't worry about cleaning up. Just cash out and go back there. You got to go back there. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I go back there and I knock on the door, and she's like, oh, you came back. We mess around a bit. I don't know. And then she basically loses her mind. She's like, come on, do it again. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm chilling. She's like, call a friend. Come on, call a couple friends. I'm like, what? So then I actually go to your house after, and I'm like, I can't believe what just happened. Like that was nuts. I should have handled it this way. I should have handled it that way. It was just all happening really fast. And it was a lot. It's over a while. I'm a teenager. I'm still young.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back and be like, I would have done this. Like, I don't know if you would have. Like, it was intense. But then a couple months later, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take advantage of this situation. And so I'm talking to my manager about it. He's like, dude, here, just put a pizza box in a bag and just go back there, knock on the door. She answers. She remembers. You're in. I'm like, brilliant. So I go back to the house, I knock on the door, and some dude answers the door. He's like, we didn't order any pizza. I'm like, oh, wrong house. Sorry. And I run back in my car and I pull off, and I'm like, oh shit. Something's off about it. So yeah, it was wild. But I'll say one more thing about it. It did give me a little PTSD in the sense that I was like, this job's dope. And then I would go to other houses, and like if anybody even invited me in their foyer, I'd be like, it's going down again. And like fucking people, I'd be acting all weird. And people come back and like just give me the change. I'm like, right, of course. Nothing was gonna happen there. I'm sorry. Why would I?
The next 6 customers, you just lean in for a kiss. You're like, yeah. Oh no. Just the tip. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, where's
they
my
came
change?
back
I'm
and they're
like,
why is your pants off? Yeah. They're like, is that a roll of quarters in your pocket? And they're like, whoa. Man, that's wild, dude. I mean, did any other, like, you would end up delivering pizzas for another couple plate, like slices and stuff like that, and like East Falls and things. Did you ever have another experience like that? As long as, because you were in delivery game for a little while.
Yeah, more partying things, like people partying, come in, drink this, smoke that, but like nothing ever like that. That was wild.
Okay. So then let's keep it moving then. I want to talk about, you were in the comedy game for a while. Like, dude, you did a good chunk of time in the comedy game, right?
Yeah,
so
it was off and on for a long time.
Yeah, you did a lot in the comedy game. So let's talk about it. How did you get into, like, I want to hear what prompted you to want to do comedy, and then how did you get into it?
That's a good question. I mean, I think I've been fascinated with comedy. This is something I've been interested in since like kindergarten. I did my first open mic when I was like 6, 7 years old.
Right.
I was taken to some type of show. I don't remember exactly, and can't ask my dad about it. But there's something there with the comedy. I was in first grade, so I've always had an interest in it. I don't remember where that came from, but did like comedy from when I was like a senior in high school, and started doing open mics and just getting into it. I just always liked the idea of performing and the art of it.
Yeah, and you are a funny guy. And like, you've always been like a funny guy, great sense of humor, super attractive, like, all that good stuff.
Oh,
so yeah, of course, man. So, but all right, so you get into comedy, right? So I feel like there's like comedy scenes, right? Is that like, at least that's what like I've been told, is that like, it's a comedy scene is the deal. So what kind of like comedy scenes were you getting into, and what's the Philadelphia comedy scene like? Like what'd you have going
on? I haven't been in the Philadelphia comedy scene for probably about a decade, or maybe 9 years,
but you were in it for a decade.
When I was in it, I was really in it. I mean, I think being in it could, depends what level you're at. But for me, it meant like I was doing some type of performance every night. If it was an open mic or some type of guest spot, or hopefully even better, getting some type of paid spot on the weekend. But I was definitely very involved in it. And then at some point, like circa 2012, 2013, I started doing my own show, Lavelle, at this restaurant, where I was promoting it, creating the flyers, hiring the comics, paying the comics, setting the room up, in terms of the production and the lighting. And so I was, and that show ran for at least 18 to 24 months.
Wow.
That was a monthly show, so it wasn't like every weekend or anything, but that was once a month we would do that, and it was pretty successful, like sometimes 2 shows in a weekend. So
wow. And how many people would you get per what was the room?
Like 100 people in that room, maybe. So
dude, that's a good little room then. Definitely. Like that's incredible, man.
Yeah, there was a nice little run where I sold definitely like 100 shows or 100 tickets a show for like 4 or 5 months in a row.
Really?
So, yeah, it was.
And really it was an every weekend thing?
No. So it was monthly. That's
once a month. Okay.
Once a month.
So what, dude, people don't realize like the amount of like work it takes to promote something like that you would get 100 people every month, and like you had a good run. Like, dude, that's takes so much. Cause I remember like we did a live show, God, a couple of years ago, but we did a show. And it was, I had to beat Tom in a game of Mario Kart to win the rights back to the show. Everybody knows the story. It's well documented. But either way, yeah, Tom had bought the rights to the show out from underneath me from my previous co-host / business partner, Shake. And in order to get the rights to the show back, I had to beat him in a game of Mario Kart live at Graham's Pub, which I did, right? And we promoted the shit out of that thing, and I'd hired like a videographer and everything, and like we produced and shot a ton of like video material for like leading up. Like we did like a 24/7 style like lead up show and everything like that.
That's
and we had
cool.
Different things. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we promoted that really well, and like the videos on that did well, right? And then we were begging to get 30 people, and we begged. Right.
It's tough, dude.
But like we had like bar people, like it ended up being like with the bar patrons that were there, it was over 100 people, but like people that were there just because of us, it was probably like around 35 to 40, which is still cool, right?
Absolutely.
And it was still fun, and like it was still a good event and a lot of fun. But for you to be able to get 100 people in consecutive months, Dude, that is huge. And like, it was all word of mouth?
No, I mean, we had, I think at that point in time, right, 2012, like, yeah, definitely Facebook and whatever social media platforms I was trying to use. But I was definitely still using like paper flyers too. And yeah, I mean, I definitely Facebook, because I get reminded all the time. It'll be like, here's your ad from 10 years ago. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about
dude.
that.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good run. It was fun, the business side of it. And for what it was worth during that time, it helped me with my network of comedians because, again, to some point, networking is very important in comedy, who you know and who you can get connected to and get in front of and whatnot.
Yeah, nice, dude. Okay. So then do you have I guess what was your best moment in comedy?
Probably, man, comedy's emotional for me because I want to get back into it, man. I still feel I felt like there's so many fork in the road moments in life, and I probably should have. I was making my really like a good push in it. I was up for an audition at Helium to be a host at Helium, and once you're a host at Helium, you get to connect to a big name, host for them. Maybe they like you, possibly even take you on tour. Best case scenario. But the very least, you get 5 sold out shows on a weekend. You're getting paid. So I was up for audition, but that never happened. So I'd say probably my biggest moment. I won a comedy competition for like $100 in front of a crowd of like 200 people, 250 people. Beat out maybe like 7, 8 other comics. Was supposed to get a hosting weekend for that club. It was in Jersey. They shut down actually. But that was a cool moment. I felt really good, and I come up with this really tight 6 minutes that I've been working on. It was really good.
What did you have like? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you remember like what your best like joke was, or best? Did you tell like a story, or did you tell jokes, or like what was your style?
Yeah, I mean that's something I would do different now is try to do more of a story style. I had a lot of like short jokes. I mean, you can't tell stand up not on stage, but. Yeah, I probably would if I get a chance to get back to it, probably go more story style. But yeah, dude, it's fun. Comedy's great. It's a rush. It's really interesting skill set. So
do you still find like you're able to like, do well like speaking in public and control a room and hold court and things like that?
Definitely carries over to what I do for a living now, for sure. I mean, that's literally what it is, because you might have some preconceived plan on how to train someone, but then you might have to do something on the fly or whatever, and then you have to, be able
improvise.
To bring people out of bad moments, or if you're tanking, still stick with it or whatever it is. So yeah, that's a lot of carryover.
I would do sales, and I would like, you can bomb in comedy, but like when you bomb in sales, it's like you can't just walk off the stage in 4 minutes. You're like, oh, I have to finish. There's like 43 minutes left in this presentation.
Yeah,
I want to kill myself.
It's tough though, but yeah, dude. But I think there's a lot of carryover. I think none of that time was wasted for me for sure.
Nice. All right. Okay. So then you would like to go back to comedy?
Definitely. When my schedule permits it, I absolutely at least want to give it a shot. And either be like, well, not what I thought, or be like, fuck yeah, I missed this.
How do you build, like, do you do like open mics, or like is there a formula like how you would build it up? Like,
yeah, I mean, the problem is like I don't know if I have the drive like I had 12 years ago to drive an hour away to do 3 minutes at an open mic in a bar in front of 7 people and then drive, but you do have to kind of build up until you maybe, as a hypothetical, the person who runs whatever mic, and then they're like, oh, you've been showing up for 6 months, let me get you up, and you're pretty decent, I want to put you up when there's still people here. And that's kind of the very like bottom feeder of how open mics work. And then once you start, oh wow, you're putting me up when there's actually 10 people here, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're doing a Saturday show. I'm going to, you want to do a live show? Well, it's not a paid spot. And then the other route would be going through Helium and trying to get on their mic and trying to create a network through them again, and get back to going on a hosting audition and see what you can create that way. And hope that there's a little bit of my network left. I show up and there's a couple faces where like, Dave? That would be ideal. But who knows?
I mean, do you remember some of the guys that you were with when you were doing it? Like, like were you ever with like mean, like who are some of the guys that were in the scene when you were there?
I mean, there's famous guys now. Shane Gillis is from the Philadelphia scene. I wasn't very close with him at the time, but yeah, definitely been on a couple, or at least one show I know I did with him. It was a competition. His podcast partner, Matt McCusker, did a bunch of shows with, and kind of float around with some of people in that little crew. So yeah, I was moving around, doing pretty good for a little bit in terms of my network.
Nice. Good, man. Dude, I hope you get back into it, dude, because you're a funny guy. So, all right. And then, all right. So we are coming towards the top of time, right? So before we get out of here, right, like we said, right now, you're mainly concentrating on your business, David Richards Fitness. Most important thing. Coming up on 3 years. You've been being your own boss, running your own business, paying your own taxes, doing your own thing. So, like we said, I want to talk a little bit more about it. So, what do you have anything coming up or anything you got going on with David Richards Fitness?
Yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned, doing 3-year anniversary. We're trying to start doing like monthly seminars, whether it's like via Zoom or in person, like trying to invite guests in to talk and do more community-based stuff. Continue to expand the class schedule. I recently just got everything on this app as of like recent as December, so I'll start to utilize this app more and the features on it, and then push my marketing side of things a little bit. I've been organic up to this point, so I think I'm ready to start kind of putting a little money into the marketing side of things and see if we can really elevate things this year.
Awesome, man. Dude, I hope that works out, man. I'm super excited for you, brother, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, like I said, we are coming towards the top of time. Before we get out of here, is there anything, or actually, all right, it's now time for everyone's favorite segment. It's JDub's question segment. JDub, hit him with some questions, baby.
Let's go.
You doing milk with dinner?
I know that's not respected. I didn't do that as a family, but I would do it.
No, I mean like currently, like you have milk
Oh,
with
no,
dinner?
I'm not currently doing it, but I would. I'm not opposed to it.
Did you Did you have milk with dinner coming up?
No, but I know a family that did, and it was definitely like different.
I can't. The Lord took it from me, but I would do it with if it's so good. Sorry.
I love chocolate milk.
You think you could beat up your 19-year-old self?
Probably.
Dude, I'm whipping my 19-year-old self's dick in the
probably.
Dirt. I'm whipping his ass.
I was pretty shredded, but I was a little bitch, and I'm heavier now. I'm bigger.
And sexier.
It's definitely. I got a grown man strength.
It's the most famous person you've met.
Excluding me.
Yeah, nobody really. I mean, like, I did a show with Shane Gillis way back when, but he wasn't famous then.
You like what's the most famous person you've seen? Like you don't necessarily like interact with them, but like what's the closest, most famous person you've been to? Like one time I saw Jeff Van Gundy in an airport, and I just went Jeff, and I pointed at him, and he went like this. He went nice.
Damn, I don't think I have anything like that. No one really. I've never really.
All mine are sports guys.
All mine, I feel like, are sports guys too.
You know who's one? You know who's one I met? Okay. Do you remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah.
Remember the dude from that show? I've met
Sarah
Seth Green.
Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, but there was a guy on there. His name was like Angel or something.
David Borealis.
Yes, I met him.
Did?
Yeah, and I met him. I was like, dude, my mom's a huge fan of you because he was on the show called Bones, I think.
Yeah,
but
he was.
Yeah,
I like that show.
Met him. Met Seth Green. I used to work at this restaurant called Vinny T's, and Seth Green would come in and get takeout. And I just remember we would go like he would be at the host stand, and I would be at the bar, and we would just start yelling stuff. And I just remember I would yell at him in the voice of the old man from Family Guy, I'd be like, "Hey, Chris." You know, like that, because it was like the old creepy guy that always wanted to rape Chris from Family Guy, and he plays Chris, so I thought that was funny. And then the food runner would always yell, "Thank you so much for robot chicken." And then who else? Oh, and then did you ever see the show Hung? Do you remember the show Hung that was on HBO?
I remember, but I've never seen it.
Well, there's this show called Hung on HBO, and it was a lot of sex and a lot of nude and a lot of P and a lot of V. And a lot of stuff, but there was this there's this one redheaded chick who plays like this like pimp, and she was a total smoke, right? And I was working at Public Penn Valley, and she came in there, and I recognized her, and legit, she had just been like full frontal nude on the show like 2 nights before, and I was like, "Hey, saw you on Hung," and she's like, "Oh yeah, okay." I was like, nice. I saw a lot of you, and it was looking good, baby. But yep, so there you go.
The soft porn days,
dude.
Any broken bones?
Oh yeah, smashed my ankle like 15 years ago. Pretty bad.
Doing what?
Wrestling someone when I was drunk.
Nice. Oh, was it our match? Did I break your ankle in our match?
Dude, no, it was another match that wasn't. It ended pretty quickly. I got a plate and 7 screws.
Whoa. You've been wrestling other people, Dave?
Bro, I tour around, especially when there's booze involved. Like, it can be a match that erupts at any moment.
Have gun will travel.
Dave,
yeah.
When you were wrestling other people, were you still thinking about me?
Of course. That'll never change. That'll never change. And this match didn't rank where I was ranked, but I did break my ankle, so.
Sure. Rebecca Kreskoff. Rebecca Kreskoff. That's her name, of the girl from Hung.
The kick out kid.
I thought that was
kick out
kid. Receiving like a free T-shirt or something. I'm like, oh.
You ever do a third bowl cereal?
Third bowl?
Yeah.
I've done fourth.
Woohoo! Daddy, yo!
Fourth doesn't usually feel good, but
third doesn't feel good. It's got to be 2. Even size depending. I've had the
solid.
You got to stay with 2. You're never gonna feel good after a third.
I've done 4 though.
That's crazy.
I know, it's embarrassing.
Now, how many bowls you done?
I'd probably done 3.
I've done 3 and regretted it. I've never pushed myself to 4.
I've done 4. I swear to God.
I've crushed a box in 2 and not like felt great about that. But like I felt like I was like, this isn't wrong because it's not a third bowl.
Was it like skinny, like little box, or like a legit box?
I mean, your standard size box, but like you're just using like a salad bowl at that point.
Right. How much milk though? I think that's almost an important factor.
I was a heavy milk guy. Like before the Lord took it from me, we were using a lot of milk in my house. My mom would buy the. Do you remember the 3-gallon jug they would sell at Costco?
God.
Damn.
You get milk? 2. Yeah, they came in. They had a 3-gallon John.
You had a water cooler of milk?
There was like 6 of us in the crib, so we needed a lot of milk.
Damn, that's crazy.
The 3-gallon was tight.
All right, that's nice. Crazy. Keep it going, JDub.
Do you have any questions for me?
Milk or chocolate milk?
I mean, at this point, because I can no longer tolerate milk, if I had to risk it, I would go chocolate. I'd go a nice Mary Mead chocolate milk if I could have anything.
Ooh.
Out of the glass bottle.
Oh. Wow. Mary Mead. Nice.
I love whole milk. My body turns it into lava now.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
Yeah, just immediately.
You're saying because it erupts out of you?
Yeah, my body just turns it into hot magma.
Oh my God.
Hot liquid magma.
That's like some bad superpower.
Yeah.
Apparently it's called lactose intolerant, but I don't know what happened.
You could harness it like Cyclops. If you could harness it like Cyclops, like technically when his laser shoot out of his eyes, it's bad. That harness, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it comes out at a solid 108 at least.
Love it. All right, well, let's keep it moving. Very good. Yeah. Love that we got into shit talk. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good. It's Justin's favorite segment.
Matt doesn't want to talk about poop on the podcast.
No,
fucking, I hate that word. All right, god damn you. Either way, let's keep it moving.
I took the wildest shit in a Wawa the other day, and this dude. So I'm pooping in the Wawa. He puts his foot under the door and like tries to pull the door open like with his foot, like no knock, no handle pull. He goes full foot under the door with a little tug.
Did you hit his foot with your foot?
Oh, buddy. Oh, I'm in here.
You do it.
You're like occupado.
I'm in here making a hot mess because I can't stop myself from eating cheese.
I'm here fucking doing alchemy, turning milk to lava.
I'm a Full Metal Alchemist in this stall right now. I got your foot in my area. Technically, this is a crime. I could call the police.
You're like, dude, you don't want no parts of what's going on in here.
That's the other thing. That guy, wildest thing that happened to me. And then one time I was pooping and the guy knocked on the door. I was like, yo, I'm in here. That was cool. And like 3-4 minutes from he goes, excuse me. And I go, what? I was like, go in the women's room. I was like, what do you mean? I'm not going to stop pooping to let you poop.
Wow.
What do you want from me?
Conversations with people.
Yeah.
I was like, go blow the hand dryer for a little bit. I'll get you out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Dave, we are coming towards the top of time. Anything you want to say to your family, friends, and fellow Daves?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that keep doing what you're doing. I know it sounds very simplified, but like if you're at a job that you don't think is leading you somewhere, you could be mistaken, because everything does lead to the next, and even though I don't deliver pizzas anymore, whatever it is, all those skills carry on to the next. So keep going.
True. Very good. Very true. Very good and very true. Thank you for that, Dave. You're absolutely correct. And you're awesome. And I love you. But
thanks, brother.
Yeah, you got it, pal. Yeah, and also I think you started almost every response with, well, I mean.
Oh God. Let's cut that out then.
Yeah, I'll try. My name is. Yep.
I gotta practice my responses.
No, you did great, buddy.
Speaking.
You nailed it tonight. We got a saying on this show is that when it goes by fast, it was good, and this one flew by. So, Jalen, anything you want to say before we get out of here, babe?
Just be good to yourselves. Just to enjoy yourselves. Be safe.
That's great. So let's keep it moving then. Speaking of adding to it, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only JDub, Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of David Richards Fitness, the one and only Dave Topor. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com, and please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. See ya.